Hey everyone, this episode we have a very well known UGC creator known as Inkwaves with over 4 million total sales on Roblox. It's a lot of sales. So I'm super excited for this episode, especially because you're a UGC creator, and I think that's really interesting. And this is the first UGC creator ever. I mean, it's the second episode of this podcast. But yeah, you're the first UGC creator on this podcast. And I think it's really interesting. Like, there's a lot of money in UGC, and it's super cool. There's a lot of really talented people, really good modeling stuff. So I think this episode is going to be really fun, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. UGC is it's a great opportunity for anyone who is into modeling and wants to make some money off of it. And really, to get in, you don't have to be like already famous. It really is just talent and uniqueness based. So it's a really cool opportunity.
Yep, super true. And it's funny because we met a really long time ago. I think it was like over a year ago, possibly. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah, I really do not because I just have the worst memory ever. But I'm trying to remember. Oh wait, no, yeah, okay. So it was I made a decision that I regret. But I donated to your AFK game. Or was that not the first time we met?
No, I think that the first time was because I remember I was live streaming in my Hangout game,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh, no. Okay, I remember that now.
yeah, you joined the Hangout game and you donated like $10 to my live
Yeah,
stream.
yeah,
And at this point, I had maybe like 20,000 subscribers, so I was a pretty small YouTuber.
yeah. I can't
But I
believe it
think that
was.
you were a UGC creator at that time, right?
Yeah, I was, but I was just like fresh off of UGC, so it's like, yeah, I was really new at that point.
Yeah, and I
So I
think
don't
you
know
you
why
had a
I
Dominus
donated.
on, right? At that time,
Probably,
I
probably.
think you
I
had
think
some.
I think I had just gotten it. I wanted to flex, but it's okay.
And how'd you get that Dominus?
Well, it was like basically maybe the third limited I bought with the UGC money. Um, and I bought it with the UGC money.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
really all. Yeah.
That's cool. So first thing I want to go over is because I think that like TikTok, I think helps UGC items get more sales. I mean, I've noticed like a lot of UGC
Yeah.
creators they make their like TikTok accounts. Other people that aren't even UGC creators, they post TikToks about UGC hats and they like blow up sometimes, and then the UGC hat gets a ton of like sales.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like
Have
there's a
Have you
lot of
ever?
times.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you ever thought about like making a TikTok account and doing that?
Yeah, I actually already have a TikTok account.
Wait, really?
And yeah, it's what I use to promote my elf ears in
Oh,
the
because
first place.
I tried
Oh
finding
yeah,
it.
no, I didn't use my username.
What did you
I
use
don't
on
know why I
TikTok?
didn't. It's at Alexander the Loser.
Oh, an interesting
Yeah,
name. Oh,
I
I have
know.
18,000 followers.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I
it
searched up Inkwaves on TikTok and I couldn't find anything. I was like, wow, I guess they just
yeah.
didn't make a TikTok.
I had already had like a previous TikTok account and I used to just like post artwork on there. But then I like got rid of it and I already had like 10K followers at there at that time. So I just used that one and deleted all my old videos.
Nice. That's really cool. Do you think that when you posted the TikToks, it helped get a lot more sales?
Oh yeah, totally. Just because TikTok as a platform, it's really hard to understand, but just like one video can completely blow up your page, and then the next video just like doesn't get any likes. It's just kind of really up and down.
Yeah,
But I was
TikTok
lucky
is
enough,
really weird.
yeah, lucky enough to have one video blow up, and it was my elf ear video. And I don't know if that like contributed all the way to their success, but it did help a lot.
Yeah, I'm on your page right now and like 360,000 views on that. Wow. And the other one
Yeah,
170K. That's amazing. Yeah, TikTok views vary so much. It's crazy. I mean, I'm on my page, like
yeah,
some videos just have so many views. And yeah, I mean, TikTok is a really good opportunity to
it
just
is.
like
Yeah.
promote stuff. So another thing I wanted to talk about was like, there's a lot of drama in the UGC community sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, there's a certain creators. Fortunately, not you. You've like never really been in any drama from what I've
Fortunately, yeah.
seen, and you make really good hats, honestly. But there's
Thank you.
certain people that are kind of the opposite. They like copy Roblox Limiteds or old items.
Yeah.
I've even seen
Um,
people copy like other websites that aren't even Roblox.
oh yeah, totally. And like at one side I want to dislike them for that, but another side it's just kind of like it's their job, so I'm not gonna hate on them too much for that, but it's not my strategy. not my strategy, definitely, but, some people, they just go that route, and then they don't realize how much they're actually copying sometimes, and then they get called out for it, and, we all make mistakes, but it's like, if you keep making them over and over, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
It's like almost the exact same hat. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen like sunglasses or there was that
Yeah.
Void Star copy thing, and then
Oh,
like
yeah, that
YouTubers
was
make videos on it.
yeah.
I mean, the thing
And
is like I'm
I talked to the guy who made the Void Star item, and he's a
oh
really
wow.
nice guy, but he just yeah, he was not he's new to UGC at the time, and so I gave him advice on how he should handle this situation, and I think it's safe to say he's not gonna do that again, but,
I'm super curious, like how long does it usually take to make a average hat on Roblox for you?
it really depends, and it depends on whether I'm kind of venturing into a item I haven't made before, but usually it takes like 30 minutes to an hour for all of the whole process of it. But yeah, it really just depends on how simple the item is and if I'm familiar with that type of item.
What do you think was like the longest time you ever spent making one hat?
Oh gosh, definitely like the Victorian parasols I made recently. The actual model itself, it did take time just because I had to get it under the vert limit. But the part that took the longest was definitely the texturing because I hand painted like each of like the little flower designs on there.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so it took a while, but I think the end result was worth it.
And how long did it take again?
Oh yeah, it took like I don't even know, like the texturing alone probably took like a couple hours, but
Wow.
yeah, it just I had to use a lot of references for that. So,
I think like before I ever really knew much about UGC, like I think I usually underestimated how long it took because
oh
I mean
yeah.
I didn't really fully like understand the process of making hats. So I
I
always thought it
mean,
was just like
like
a lot easier.
yeah, from the outside perspective, it's like a lot of people don't even realize we have a limit for like the texture size and vert limit. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's like they see these items and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't look that hard to make." But even if it's a simple item, it does take a while just because you have to just play that game of getting it under the vert limit and taking away detail, adding detail. It's definitely a process. So
Yeah, I didn't even know about the vert limit before a couple months ago is when I found out that you actually have like a limit.
they're not the easiest when it comes to the limit, but I understand because you can't just have like a bunch of hats that are like 10,000 vertices running around Roblox.
And you know like the most sold UGC item, that shadowed head, right? How long do you think that that thing took? Cuz it looks pretty simple. I mean, it's just a head
Oh
with like
yeah,
a shadow texture.
I'm sure it did take like not that long, but I don't know, probably, each creator it's different, but if I were to make that item, it'd probably just take like 5 minutes or so, but
And that's crazy cuz like that got like 5 million sales or
yeah.
something.
And
So,
that's kind of the downside of the UGC market just because I can spend like a few hours on an item, but at the end of the day, the items that are going to do well are definitely the simpler items just because they go well with more outfits. And, like, for example, my elf ears, I know I'm mentioning them a lot, but that's really the biggest example I have. They took like, first of all, it wasn't even something I really wanted to make. It was like I was sick at the time. And so I was just like putting something together. And so I swear it took like 5 minutes, like first forming the elf ear and then making the earrings, and the texturing was just coloring two objects. So it really, those may be like the shortest amount of time I've put into a UGC item. And that's just kind of crazy to think about.
oh, I thought it took a lot longer than that. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize. Wow. So like the more detail that you put into hats, usually the less sales it gets sometimes.
It really depends, but usually that's the case, except for like some examples of it not being that way is like Franklin. He makes those like realistic items, and so
Oh
obviously
yeah, I've
those
heard
have a
of
lot of
those.
detail, but they're like meme items, so that's the sell value for that. But yeah, usually the really simple items sell best, and so sometimes I stick to that, and sometimes I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna try and just make an item that I'm proud of. But, it's just kind of at the end of the day, it's our job. So it's like we get criticized a lot for making simple items and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what is being bought the most. So we're just kind of that's our job, and we have to do what's best in that like instance. But it's just it's really hit or miss a lot of the times with items, but
Yeah, that's super true. Like, I mean, you just can just take a look at the best-selling community creations on the catalog,
yeah.
and yeah, it's a lot of simple hats, honestly, that are the top
Yeah,
sellers.
and, like, I get the frustration, though, like, whenever people are like, "Oh, these UGC creators are putting out really simple hats," but, there's some modelers who aren't in UGC making better items, and to a certain extent, that's a good criticism, but you have to remember that up until, like, I guess, September of last year, we didn't have applications for UGC. So that extent after that is really just whoever got in. It's based on uniqueness of their items and the quality of items they have. So it's no longer really the only the famous people get into UGC. It is more talent based now, which is good. But
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, I'm glad that like you don't have to be famous to get into UGC.
yeah. Before I got into UGC, I was trying the method of getting Roblox to notice me with like 12 followers on Twitter, and that was not working at all. So I really just, the day I found out that they had applications, I was like, okay, here's a shot to actually make it in. So
And did you get in on your first try?
yeah, I can't remember what rank I was put into, but I like think I was like the fourth person accepted. But I was definitely like the second person to post about it on Twitter. So I got in the first try, and I was really shocked actually, just because when I first got into UGC, I still didn't know how to UV unwrap an item like properly. I just like did the smart UV project, which is not good at all. I do not recommend to anyone who's modeling. But yeah, for like a long time in UGC, like the first week, I literally did not know how to do like a crucial part of making UGC items. But luckily, I eventually figured it out. So, and here we are today.
Yeah, that's super cool. What do you think about people like ordering commissions from UGC creators and getting like their own hats made about people?
I don't personally do that, but I know a lot of people who do that, and I think it's important to realize that it's a privilege to have that made. It's not like a demand, and so I see a lot of influencers. You know, it's a running joke. It's like, I'll give you a shout out if you make me a shoulder pet. And it's like, it's a joke, but it also happens a lot. So definitely, if you're looking to get an item made from like a custom item, definitely pay a decent amount, because a UGC creator is taking up their time and their energy, and also in place of that item, they could have put their own item, which would have gotten them more money. So it's just kind of, it really is kind of just like a privilege, and you have to understand that. But yeah, it's I don't do that, but it's totally as respectful to other UGC creators who do it.
And I remember I made that TikTok where I was like, how to get your own shoulder pet.
Yeah,
And then I put a list of like 10 UGC creators and they all started
yeah,
getting DMs.
yeah. Do not follow modern Chris's advice on how to get a shoulder pad. That is not what you do. Thank you. That's all I have to say about that.
Dude, it's crazy how many people want a shoulder pet. Like, I could
Yeah,
probably make a YouTube video talking about shoulder pets and it'll probably blow up.
probably. Yeah, I don't know what the teach their own, but I really don't know what the value in a shoulder pad is. But whatever.
I think people just wanted to like, people just want to flex it or something. I mean,
Yeah,
I just wanted one because
like
I thought it looked pretty cool.
yeah, like personally, if I was a YouTuber, I'd want like something still related to me, but not just like a mini version of me plopped on my shoulder. But you know, it's fine. But I just think that if I was in that position, I'd want something like a little more different, just to kind of stand out. But and I have been seeing that. But yeah,
Yeah, like my necklace that I have a little bit different.
yes, I see your necklace.
And I had I think I had another hat that was like on my back. It was me in a bottle. So
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's at least like a little bit creative. So props
yeah,
on
I
you for
like when
that.
it's more creative than just a shoulder pet. So
But, like,
yeah.
honestly, it's still respectable to those who do that, because it's like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just like, my personal opinion is that I'd do something different, but yeah.
So I think whenever like somebody that like an outsider that doesn't know much about UGC, whenever they hear people making hats on Roblox, I think instantly they always go to like, oh my god, how much money does it make? And all this like
Yeah,
money stuff. I mean, the crazy part is a lot of UGC creators are making a ton of money from UGC.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's crazy. It's a
It's
huge opportunity.
like whenever I first started, obviously, I wasn't making that much, but I was making a good amount. And then as I progressed, I started making more, and my parents started actually like taking it seriously. And it's like, I didn't know when you had a job, you meant you had a job. And so it's like when people think like you're working for Roblox, or even since we are technically working for Roblox, it's like just developing on Roblox. They don't really think a lot of success with that, but it's really crazy how much of like a life savings worth people can make off of UGC, and it's a market that not a lot of people know about. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like some people literally they have like they can just replace a full-time job with UGC and they'll pay
oh yeah,
really well. But there's a
like
difference because like some UGC creators aren't making a huge amount. I mean, like
yeah,
most
it's
people are. I mean, not really most. I don't really
yeah,
know how to explain it.
progressively as the program expands, new creators are going to have it harder just because it's harder to make items with a swarm of like new items being made by other creators, and so it's really hard for new creators in that aspect. And I had a little of that too when I started out, but I was lucky enough to be like in the first wave, so it really is just like I would recommend just going through recently created and supporting those new UGC artists because their items are valuable, and like sometimes they just aren't being seen. So like
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, one of my friends, he recently got into UGC. He's also a builder. His name is Ariel's Above. He's making these UGC items, and like they're really good. They're like really quality, and really interesting too. But and he's getting praise for it, but it's obviously harder for him than the people already established in the community, just because that's how it works. But hopefully, there are going to be some changes to the catalog and that kind of stuff, just to give those creators a better chance of getting exposed and getting their items seen by people.
Yeah, definitely. I think like Roblox could definitely do a better job with the catalog, honestly. Like maybe they
Yeah,
can do how the games page is, where they show different types of hats
yeah,
regardless of how many sales it has. And like you just go to the recently updated page and you see so many different types of talented pieces
yeah,
of work. So I would definitely suggest if you guys are watching this podcast, once you're done watching this, you should go to the recently updated page of UGC items because there's a lot of really cool stuff that usually isn't seen by most
yep.
people. I was in that you know that UGC tracker game?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and it shows like how many sales certain hats have and stuff. Because normally you
yeah.
can't really see any of that, which is kind of unfortunate
Yeah,
because it's
we
pretty
we
interesting.
kinda just didn't have anything to track, like, accomplishments before that, but the creator, his name is King of Hungary, I'm pretty sure, he gave that to us, and so that's really cool, but, it's not perfectly accurate just with some of like, the top creator list, just because some people haven't, like, consented to their sales being shown, but it is pretty accurate just overall.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I can kind of, I mean, I think it's a little bit inaccurate because I was looking at the top UGC chart thing, and it says that elf ears, the ones that you made, are
Yeah.
number five. I don't think that they're actually number
Yeah,
five, right?
I was in there and I was looking at that, and it got my hopes up because I was like, "What the heck? How did they, like, get up there?" But then I checked the catalog and they weren't, but they are getting close to the top, so that's
It's the
great.
third row, right? Your elf ears.
I think so, that sounds about right. Last I checked
Yeah,
was, like, a few days ago.
yeah. I was checking, and it's like almost on the second row, so that's pretty cool. And it's crazy because like those things have so many sales. I mean, why do you think that I got so many sales? Those elf ears.
I don't even know. I think it was like I said, it was one of those items that I didn't even think was gonna blow up. I thought it was just another item I was gonna post and take off sale if it did bad. But literally, like the first day I uploaded, it already had like 500 sales, and I was like, "What the heck?" And it just kept on growing and growing. But like, and those elf ears kind of just show how easy it is to blow up on UGC. Like, it is getting harder, but at that time when they blew up, I didn't have any massive successful items. I just had like I had a few bangers, but I didn't really have any like outstanding items that sold well. But at that time, I had like maybe 500 Twitter followers, and like, but then those outfits just like blew up randomly, and they really just changed my UGC career, obviously. So it does show how easy it is, to blow up, but like I said, it's constantly getting harder, so I'd say definitely apply for UGC while you can. So, yeah.
And when did you post the first elf ears? Like, what time period was this?
I think it was back in December. I think it was actually January, but one of those that kind of month. There were just some items truly that I had my main items at that time, and then I had a few other items that I just posted just in case I missed a week or I didn't model anything, and the Elfers were one of those items. So it's crazy how much that can just like switch up, and you don't realize that an item you don't think is going to do well like does the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think that the whole elf ears series, I think it has like over 2 million sales or something, right?
Yeah, the leading, tone has, like, 1.7 million at this time,
Wow.
and the other skin tones just kinda stagger down from there, but, yeah, I have a good amount, and I don't think any of them are below 100,000 sales at this point, like,
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, and I noticed that you have like different skin tones with the elf ears. That's really
uh
interesting.
yeah, totally, a lot of the elf ears beforehand, it's like some people did provide a lot of skin tones or some skin tones, but there really wasn't that many. It was just one, and like honestly, that's just kind of your prerogative. But I just saw a lot of like a representation that was being missed, so I just went ahead and did all the skin tones I could, and obviously I didn't get all of them, but I tried to. I have like a pretty big range out, so I wanted to keep a big range with that.
Have you ever thought about making hair?
Yes, obviously hair is one of those things. It's like you try it, but and I've tried it a couple times, and it didn't do the best, but that's because hair on for UGC is very, very particular. What I've noticed is usually the artists that are only like or are known for their hair are the only ones who really make it to the front page with their hair. There are a few exceptions, like one of my other UGC friends, Sirens. They um, they weren't really known for hair, but they released a hair of their OC actually, and it got to the front page and like multiple colors did. So it's like typically though, um, people are already known for hair are the ones who you see on the front page. So it's a market that is really hard to get popular in.
It's crazy because like I had this friend that was in the star program, and
Yeah.
he made a hair, and it made like 15 million Robux, I think, and it was his like
Oh yeah.
first
Which
time
hair
making
was it?
hair. I forgot honestly. I completely forgot which hair,
Yeah.
but they just made a hair. I think it was one of the first times they ever made hair, and it got
Yeah.
super big. So it's crazy.
And it's different for everyone, honestly. But yeah, for me, it's not been the best, but I do enjoy making hair. It's pretty fun, but yeah, I don't do it all the time just because it's really hard to for me to get them to be successful.
Do you think that Roblox will ever allow UGC creators to make like their own faces?
So that's something that I don't know about yet, but I hope so because I have a lot of that kind of stuff I want to put out. But just because before you do see, I did like digital art and concept art and all that kind of stuff. So I think it'd be cool to mix those two things together. But I don't really know much about if that's coming. I hope it is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I saw your Twitter posts of you making like certain faces and it looked really good. So I
Thank you.
think
Yeah.
if they did ever allow faces, then people would be able to get like really creative and
Yeah,
I think it would
totally.
look really cool. Another thing is like I could just imagine maybe one day limited UGC items. I mean, obviously there would have to be a lot
Yeah.
of restrictions so it wouldn't just like break the market or anything.
Yeah, totally.
But I think I was
Uh,
like thinking about it, and I thought maybe like one thing that they could do is maybe just hand pick a few really good UGC creators that have always made really good hats and stuff, and then maybe they can make limited UGC items.
Yeah, I was thinking like I don't really know about anything about that, but one thing they could do is they could have UGC creators apply with certain hats and for limited positions, and they could test that out that way. But I do think that if they end up doing it, it would definitely be like a curated thing.
Yeah, for sure. Any tips for people trying to get into the UGC program?
So I actually have a video out on this, so you should go watch that.
Oh yeah, I
But
saw you have a
um,
YouTube channel.
I
That's
do.
cool, yeah.
It's not very professional at this time, but it is a YouTube channel. So I think the biggest tip I always give everyone who asks me is be unique with your items because if you submit like 10 bucket hats or 10 neon rainbow outline items, it's you're not going to get into the program just because they want to see new items in the catalog, and so you have to really make sure you're hitting the creative mark and you're finding your niche and you're finding uh your area of items that aren't that explored on the catalog already. So I think that is along with just having a lot of information and knowledge about how to model, you do have to have a lot of creativity. Like I think it's at this point it's like 70% creativity, 30% modeling. Like you creativity is very important when applying for UGC.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are so many people trying to apply into UGC. There's couple hundred UGC creators right now. I
Yeah,
actually know like 3 people that are my friends that are like super good at modeling, and they've never been accepted into the program. So
yeah,
there's a lot of creators, but it's definitely not like super easy to get in.
yeah. And also another important thing that messes up a lot of people, like really good modelers, is just that they don't have sufficient evidence to show that they made their items just because that's something Roblox really, really wants to make sure of. So you really have to, what I did for my application is I just submitted like um a slideshow of photos showing the entire process for each of the items. So I did the actual modeling and a few steps in that, and then I did the UV editing and UV unwrapping, and then I did the texturing. So you have to really cover the basis on all those three things, just because very important to make sure that they know you made those items.
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't even think about that, but that is true. So how about your building career? I know that you like to build, and I've seen on Twitter you make some really
Yeah.
good builds.
Thank you. I started back in like probably, well, I first made my account in like not this account, but my first account in like 2012. So I probably started honestly back then, but I never really got into showcase building until like 2016, 2017, 2018, that era. You pretty much when showcasing was at its finest, people like Adam Eterno and Jenny Bean and Ariels and all those people were really well-known builders in that time, and so I felt inspired by them and I got into it. And it's not really I never really made it much of a career. I did some building for games, but nothing really worthwhile compared to UGC. So yeah.
Nice. That's cool. In your opinion, who do you think is like your favorite UGC creator other than yourself?
Oh, this is hard. First of all, I'll say myself because I got to do some self promo here, but probably Arrows Above. Like I said, I really appreciate his items. He's just a really good modeler in general. Polar Cub, she's a good friend of mine. She makes really good items. Simply a Lemon, Beism, of course. All those people just make really quality items. And oh, and of course, the biggest one for me that actually inspired me way back before UGC was I Don't Have a Use. He made like the cube or whatever, but he also makes like really good weaponry and that kind of stuff. And he actually works for Nicholas in um, Murder Mystery, I think. He works there,
Nice.
and so yeah, he's another big inspiration there. But
Didn't he do like some fake drama thing where he left UGC or something?
yeah, that was. I'm not gonna say it's fake because we spent a lot of time on that joke, but yeah, he recently said like he was kicked from UGC and we all played along, so we kind of gave the RTC account a heart attack there, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, do you have any like last final things to say?
Not really. I'll say shop Inkwaves UGC, of course. That's
Yep.
very important. If you want to check out any of my showcases, you can just look on my player tab and check out my Twitter. Post a lot of concepts there, or also take ideas there. And yeah, that's really it. Also follow my TikTok if you want to see little TikToks I make, but that's really all.
Thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate it a lot. I think UGC is a huge opportunity.
Yeah,
It's really interesting. It's kind of
yeah.
underrated, honestly. A lot of people don't really think about
It is
UGC much and stuff.
it is a big mystery though. There's not a lot of info on that, and it is just because it's kind of a new program and not very to the public, but there's not a lot of known info about it, and I'm glad I can share some tips and tricks on how to get into UGC and just to look into UGC as a whole.
Super true. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this podcast, by the way. Thank you so much, Inkwaves, for being on here. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.